Randy McDaniel announced he will not seek re-election for Oklahoma State Treasurer. Cites that he wants, I guess, more time with his family. So it's interesting because he was a termed out state rep, did a lot of stuff. In fact, was it in this article that I read it, or did I read it somewhere else? That must have been somewhere else. I mean, he was like Alex Legislator of the Year, like national Alex Legislator of the Year one year. Oh, it was on an OCPA article. That's where I read it. So I mean, he was like a major like conservative national figure because he was, I think it was for reforming the state's pension system, like, or one of them. I mean, this was a guy, and this is where like I'll always remember Randy McDaniel for being a ghoul, for lack of a better term, is he really wanted to raise the retirement age of teachers again. Like, we've already raised it somewhat to try and extend the life of some of these pensions, but like, when you look at the life expectancy, especially out in rural Oklahoma, and then you look at something called healthy life expectancy, it is not good. And so if a teacher can't retire till 65, like, I don't know if you've met a 65-year-old teacher, but like, if they started teaching when they first came out of school, I mean, they've been teaching for like 40 years. And like, to raise that from 65 to 67, it doesn't sound like that much. You're like, oh, 2 years. But it's like, literally, that's their like last 2 years of like functional health and life, like where they can actually get out and go do stuff and enjoy it. I mean, there's like one town or county in Oklahoma that has like the lowest life expectancy in the United States, like almost like 50 years or something. So like, I think it's just really ghoulish to say like, oh, the way we're going to save on our pension system is to raise the retirement age of teachers. I think it's gross. I think it's totally unhelpful. And yeah, that was something he was pretty notable for doing. But anyway, he's not running again. And then Storm Jones announced or reprinted the press release that said Oklahoma County Treasurer David Hooten is running for state treasurer. And he's still going with the trumpet thing. But anyway, he just got reelected. I guess going from county treasurer to state treasurer is sort of a stepping stone. I don't know. It's an upgrade for him. He's been deeply involved in Republican Party politics. That's like all I know about him. He's not great. I mean, I assume he's just generally conservative on everything, and I mean, he's very involved in like party politics. Like, he was deeply involved in party stuff before he became county treasurer. But it'll be an open statewide race, which is kind of crazy.
According to the one response to Storm's tweet, stay tootin', vote for Hooten. That's I mean, you know, that's a play on his name, I guess. He just had to play on his name. I guess like, that was all you had to do. I guess that was all you were left with. Yeah.
So bad.
So I often wonder, in some of these state offices that are not as prestigious as the governor or lieutenant governor, say, is there an opportunity for a progressive to run, especially if it's a limited focus, like a limited focus such as Treasury, right? Like, I say that to say there could be some messaging around, progressive messaging around this limited role that could resonate with Oklahomans that wouldn't in such a broad role, say, as governor. And so I wonder, like, if one were to run, it's kind of like how you think about, corporate commissioner, right? And thinking about that in Treasury along similar lines. Is there an opportunity for a progressive to run and say, in this limited role, Oklahomans would be more apt to listen to a progressive? That obviously assumes a lot of things, adequate messaging and to get the messaging out there and that sort of thing. That's something I've been wondering about lately, because it said that he won 72% of the votes in 2018. Randy McDaniel did. And I think a lot of Oklahomans, had they known that his bright idea was to have teachers work until they die, I wonder how many would have supported him had they known that, right? And so that's something I wonder about. And I just like, I don't know all of the elected officials statewide, obviously, but I think it'd be interesting to see like what are some unique offices that progressive messaging would really break through here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So I actually worked on that race last time. A Democrat didn't even run. It was actually an independent that ran. We tried some of that. It was a modest campaign, to put it nicely. Yeah, the treasurer really is kind of an interesting gig. I mean, I think I'm trying to find the org chart, but now, of course, I can't find it. But they do like a lot of like unclaimed property, but I think they're over Department of Commerce. But they do a lot of like our economic reporting. There it is. State treasurer, banking services. Yeah, so I mean, they do a lot of our economic data reporting. I mean, it's like a good office for like messaging about like how Oklahoma could, like they do some of our investments and stuff, but like how Oklahoma could build a little bit better, a better economy. Like they would be a good group for that. So yeah, I mean, I think it would be, a good role for somebody to run and try some populist progressive messaging on and try to challenge the status quo on that. But yeah, it's got to be somebody who really loves the nitty gritty and the messaging stuff that's like fairly challenging to talk about. Because yeah, it's like banking and investment services. I mean, it's a pretty narrow scope.